A very good afternoon to one and all. Myself, Dr. Rishabh Gupta, and in today's session, we will be solving some numericals on dividend policies in MS Excel. So let's begin. A company expects that its net income and capital expenditure over the next 4 years would be given as below. Year, net income and capex. In year 1, net income is 55,000, capital expenditure is 40,000. In year 2, it is 20,000 and 35,000 is my capex. Similarly, in year 3, net income is 60,000 and capital expenditure is 55,000. And finally, in year 4, wherein the net income is 90,000 and capex is 45,000. The company has 10,000 shares outstanding on which it has paid a dividend of rupees 2.50 per share last year. What will be the dividend per share and the external financing requirement for each of the above 4 years if the company follows constant dividend per share policy, number 2, pure residual policy, constant dividend payout policy of 40%, and finally constant dividend per share of rupees 2 and extra dividend of 60% at times of supernormal earnings. Normal earnings of the company is rupees 50 lakhs per annum. So let's begin. Now there are 4 subsequent years, year 1, year 2 and year 4. The first part is that if the company follows a constant dividend per share and the numerical clearly specifies that the constant dividend per share is rupees 2.5. So let me simply note it down. Dividend per share is 2.5 and let's drag it from year 1 till year 4. We all know that the total number of equity shares is 10,000. So my total dividend will be equals to dividend per share multiplied by total equity shares. Now I know my total equity share will remain same in all the subsequent years. So let me fix it. So my total dividend comes out to be rupees 25,000 each in all the 4 years. Now the net income is already being given. So it is 55,000 in year 1, 20,000 in year 2, 60,000 in year 3 and 90,000 in year 4. The capex information has also been specified, which is 40,000 in year 1, 35,000 in year 2, 55,000 in year 3 and 45,000 in year 4. Now I first need to calculate my retained earning, which is equals to net income minus dividend. It comes out to be 30,000. In the second case, my net income is 20,000, but the company is paying a dividend of 25,000. So it will be equals to 20,000 minus 25. So this 5,000 are to be taken from the revenue reserve. Next is the net income is 60,000 represented by E4 minus the company is paying a total dividend of 25,000. So in this way, company has retained 35,000 in year 3 and similarly in year 4 the amount comes out to be 65,000. Now in order to find out the external financing requirement, I need to compare the retained earning against the capex for each and every year. In the first year, the retained earning is 30,000. However, the capex requirement is 40,000. So in this way, the company require 10,000 rupees more through external financing. In the second case, the capex requirement is 35,000 and the retained earning is minus 5,000, and we have assumed that this 5,000 have been taken from the revenue reserve. So it will be minus 35,000 in year 2. In year 3, the capex requirement is 55,000, but the retained earning is 35,000. So equals to retained earning minus 55,000, which means 20,000 external financing is required in year 3. In year 4, the retained earning is 65,000. However, the capex requirement is only 45,000. So in such scenario, no external financing is required because all your capex requirement can easily be met from the retained earning. Now let's focus on part 2. You need to calculate the dividend per share and the external financing if the company follows a pure residual policy. So let me first note down the information. There are 4 years starting from year 1 till year 4. The capex requirement has already been specified in the numerical. So let me first copy paste this information, which is 40,000 in year 1 and goes on till 45,000 in year 4. The net income has also been specified. So let me simply copy paste it. That is Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Now the next part is the calculation of residual income, which is equals to net income minus capex. So in first case, the net income is 55,000, but the capex is 40,000. So the residual income will be 15,000 in this case. In the second, it will be 0. In the year 2, the net income is 20,000, but the capex requirement is 35,000. So the residual income will be 0 in this case. In year 3, the net income is 60,000 and the capex requirement is 55. So the residual income will be net income minus capex, that is 5,000. In year 4, net income is 90,000 and the capex requirement is 45,000. So my residual income will be 45,000 in this case. Now we all know that as per residual policy, only the residual income must be distributed in the form of dividend. So in order to calculate this dividend per share, I need to write equals to residual income divided by total number of equity shares outstanding, that is represented by J2, and press enter. Dividend per share comes out to be 0 in year 2 and year 3 it will be residual income divided by total equity shares outstanding, comes out to be 0.5 in year 3 and in year 4 it comes out to be 4.5. Now I need to calculate the external financing requirement by comparing my capital expenditure against the net income. So in year 1, the capital expenditure requirement is 40,000 and the net income is 55,000. So no external financing is required. However, in year 2, the capex requirement is 35,000 and the net income is 20,000. So the company requires approximately 15,000 rupees through external financing. In year 3 as well, the external financing will be 0. Similarly, in year 4, the capex requirement is 45,000 and the net income is 90,000. So again, it comes out to be 0 in year 4. Now let's focus on part 3. If a company follows a constant dividend payout policy of 40%. So there are 4 subsequent years. Let me again copy paste this information. Capex ranges from 40,000 till 45,000. Net income has already been specified in the numerical. Now, first and foremost, I need to calculate my total dividend, which is equals to 40% of net income. So equals to 0.4 multiplied by net income represented by D16. It comes out to be 22,000. Let's simply drag it till year 4. So it comes out to be 22,000 in year 1, 8,000 in year 2, 24,000 in year 3 and 36,000 in year 4. Now let's calculate the residual income. So in the first year, the net income is 55,000 and the total dividend payment is 22,000. So the residual income will be equals to net income represented by D16 minus total dividend represented by E16. Press enter. It comes out to be 33,000 in year 1, 12,000 in year 2, 36,000 in year 3 and 54,000 in year 4. Now the next step is the calculation of dividend per share. Since I have already calculated my total dividend, so the dividend per share will be equals to total dividend represented by E16 divided by number of equity shares outstanding. Since my denominator remains the same in all the 4 subsequent years, so let's fix it by putting a dollar sign before and after J. Let's drag it. So it comes out to be 2.2, 0.8, 2.4 and 3.6. The next step is the calculation of external financing requirement. So for that I need to compare the capital expenditure and the residual income. In year 1 the capex requirement is 40,000 and the residual income is 33,000. So the external financing requirement is 7,000. In year 2 the capex is 35,000 and the residual income is 12,000. So it will be equals to 12,000 minus 35,000. The external financing requirement is 23,000 in year 2. In year 3, the capex requirement is 55,000. However, the residual income is only 36,000. So equals to residual income minus capex. It comes out to be 19,000. And in year 4, the capex is 45,000 and the residual income is 54,000. Since the company can easily meet its capital expenditure requirement from its residual income, so the external financing will be 0 in this case. The last part is that what will be the dividend per share and the external financing requirement if the company follows a constant dividend per share of rupees 2 and extra dividend of 60% at times of supernormal earnings. It is assumed that the normal earnings are rupees 50,000 per annum. Let me simply copy paste the information, capex and the net income. Now I need to calculate the supernormal earning. Now the normal earnings are 50,000 in all the 4 subsequent years. So it will be equals to 55,000 minus 50,000. So my supernormal earnings are 5,000 rupees in year 1. In year 0 it is 0. In year 2 it is 0. In year 3 it will be 60,000 minus 50,000, that is 10,000, and in year 3 it will be 40,000. So in this way I have calculated my supernormal earning. Now I need to calculate the extra dividend per share. The question clearly specifies that it is the extra dividend is 60% of supernormal earning. So equals to 0.6 multiplied by 5,000 divided by 10,000. It comes out to be 0.3. Similarly, in year 3 it will be 0.6 multiplied by 10,000 represented by E25 divided by 10,000. It comes out to be 0.6, and at last in year 4 it will be 0.6 multiplied by 40,000 divided by 10,000. The question clearly says that the company is already paying a dividend of rupees 2 per share, which will be there in all the 4 years. In year 2, the extra dividend per share will be 0 because the company is not earning any supernormal earning. So the total dividend comes out to be extra dividend per share plus the constant dividend per share. So my total dividend per share is 2.30 in year 1, 2 rupees in year 2, 2.60 in year 3 and 4.40 in year 4. The total amount of dividend will be total dividend per share multiplied by number of equity shares outstanding. Let's fix it. It comes out to be 23,000, 20,000, 26,000 and 44,000. The next is the calculation of retained earning, which is being calculated by comparing the net income and total dividend. In the year 1, the company's net income is 55,000. However, the total dividend is only 23,000. So it will be equals to net income minus total dividend. Similarly, in year 2, net income minus total dividend, it comes out to be 0. In year 3, the net income is 60,000 and the total dividend is 26,000. So equals to net income minus total dividend, which comes out to be 34,000. And it finally, in the last year, net income is 90,000 and the total dividend is 44,000. It comes out to be 46,000. Now the capex requirement has already been specified. Now I need to identify that how much is the external financing requirement by comparing the capex requirement with the retained earning. In year 1, the capex requirement is 40,000. However, the retained earning is only 32,000. So it will be 32,000 minus 40,000. So 8,000 is the external financing requirement in year 1. In year 2, the retained earning is 0 and the capex requirement is 35,000. It comes out to be 35,000 in year 2. In year 3, the capex is 55,000. The retained earning is 34,000. So it will be equals to 34,000 represented by J25 minus capex requirement. It comes out to be 21,000. In year 4, the capital expenditure requirement is 45,000 and the retained earning is 46,000. Now the capex requirement can easily be met from the retained earning. So the external financing requirement will be 0 in this case. So that's all from my side. We'll meet you in my next session. Have a nice day.